we'll start our assignment with the servlet. So the first thing, you have to go to file and you have to say new dynamic project, so dynamic web project. So just click on that dynamic web project. You will be given with this window. Write down the name of your project, say test servlet. You can give any name. Okay, rest of the configuration you have to keep as it is, and then say next. Okay, say next. Now you will be given with this particular window, web module. Okay, here there is one checkbox, generate web.xml deployment descriptor. So this is very important. Check this. Okay, put a check over here. It will automatically generate a web.xml that is called as a deployment descriptor. It is a very important file from the point of view of your servlet. Okay, so check it and click on finish. So it will create a dynamic web project. So it takes some time. See, in our last session, we have seen to create a hello world servlet. Okay, and for that purpose, we have not modified the web.xml. But today we are going to modify this web.xml. We are going to see how this web.xml gets configured. Okay, so I have created a test servlet. Okay, so this test servlet web project is added over here. You can see this hierarchy of the project. Okay, now this, check it out, in the web content folder, in the web inf folder over here. Okay, you can see web.xml is created. Okay, it is auto generated. Web.xml is present in the web inf folder. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to create a client code. We have to create a HTML file. So go to the test servlet. Okay, right click the test servlet and say new HTML. Okay, I'm going to create a HTML file first. Say new HTML. Okay, give the name of that HTML file, say index.html. Okay, say next. It will ask you regarding this particular, it will give you preview and it will ask you the version. Keep the whatever is the version provided as it is and say finish. Now see, your index.html file gets added. This was my test servlet and your index.html file gets added to the same folder. Okay, web.inf folder. Okay, and this is a pre-built code of your HTML file. So in the body section, we are going to write down our code. Okay, so here I am going to take two numbers. Okay, and we want that addition of two numbers should be performed at a server side. Okay, so I'll take, say, number 1 and input type is equal to text, uh, and name is equal to num1. Okay, similarly I will take another number, so it will be number 2. I will change it to number 2 and its name will be num2. Variable name is num2, and I'll take one, say, submit button. So input type is equal to submit. Okay, and I can have the name is equal to submit, or I can have the name like, say, yeah, name can be anything. Okay, submit. Okay, and check out these three things I have added. I have added two text boxes. First text box to receive number 1, second text box to receive number 2, and one submit button. Now all these contents we have to put inside a form. Okay, so we have to take the form. So form, when you say form, it will give you the ending tag also. You can put that ending tag over here, form/form. Okay, so what we have done, we have taken a form, and on that form I have put number 1, number 2, the text boxes, and the submit button. Now here we have to mention action. Okay, what you want the form action should be, when you click on the submit button, okay, the form action should be, it should call, say, add, it should add it. Okay, so I have just said here it should call the add. Okay, so in this way we have to prepare this particular file, HTML file. Let us say whether this file is giving me the output or not. So save it. Okay, and right click and say run as, run on server. Okay, you will get restarting the server. Say okay. Yeah, we are getting, check it out, we are getting number 1, number 2, and the submit query. Submit query is a default caption of that submit button. Okay, now see, if I put the numbers and I say submit, what is happening? Okay, it is calling the add. Okay, but we have not written any add function. Okay, so it is giving me the error that the file is not found. Okay, whenever I am clicking the submit, it is going to add, but add such as function I have not written. Now we need to write it down. Okay, so is it clear till now, all of you? We have written a index .html file. Okay, and we have just say the add, and we have prepared one button, no, we have prepared one button submit. When you submits it, okay, it will create the it will go to the add. Okay, I have added the br tags. Okay, and the value of the caption of that button should be the add. Okay, I'm getting the noise, so can you mute? Okay, I'm getting the noise from some student side. Now, so our HTML file is working. Okay, we have got the output of that. Now what we want to create that addition. Okay, where to create the addition, and for that purpose we are going to create a server. Check it out, we have created a HTML. Through that HTML we want to send two numbers, and we want that addition of these two numbers should be carried out at the server side. Who will do this addition? Our servlet is going to do this addition. Check it out, this is a dynamic page. Every time I'm going to change the numbers, the page contents will be different. Okay, your output will be different. So you want some entity who will create the dynamic web page for you. And as we have seen in the introduction, servlets can create the dynamic web pages. So I will pass two numbers, addition of two numbers will be carried out at the server with the help of servlet, and then servlet will respond you with the addition, result of the addition. So check it out, this was our project test servlet. What we are going to do, we will right click it and we will say new servlet. We are going to add the servlet, so say new servlet. Just click on it. Now give the name of your servlet. You can mention a package name as well if you want to put all your servlet in a single package. Then put the name of your servlet. So I can put the name of the servlet is demo servlet. Okay. Or you can have the other name instead of demo servlet. Let's see, add servlet or addition servlet. Okay, I have given the name as addition servlet because this servlet I want to perform the addition. So addition servlet. The standard mechanism is that superclass is javax.servlet.http servlet. So we are going to extend the standard http servlet class. So what will happen? Addition servlet extends http servlet. Now we know that http servlet contains major two methods, doGet and doPost method. So what we are going to do? We are going to override the doGet method in our case, and in that doGet method we will write down the code for addition of the servlet. Okay, so just say here class name, say next. You will get here the URL mapping addition servlet. Whatever is your class name, you will get accordingly the URL mapping addition servlet. Say next. Now check out, whenever you extend the HTTP servlet, constructor of superclass, inherited abstract methods, all will come by default in your code. Apart from that, you will get doGet and doPost method. There are other methods as well. We have talked about it in the last session, but right now we are interested in doGet and doPost method, only doGet method, or I will say, and say finish. So whatever you have ticked over here, that code will be generated automatically. Okay. So check it out. My servlet, addition servlet is created with the ready-made code, auto-generated code. So it has some imports like the IO exception, servlet, web servlet, HTTP servlet, request and response. These are the two very important classes, request and response. So all will be imported, and then check out this line, public class addition servlet extends HTTP servlet. So this is my servlet name, addition servlet. It extends the HTTP servlet. Okay, and the constructors already it has created. And check out, this is the doGet method and this is the doPost method. These are the two methods which are already present in the HTTP servlet, that are, you know, that methods have come in the addition servlet. Now doGet method and doPost method, both these methods requires two objects as a parameter. First is a request and second is a response object. Check out, in doPost also we have the request and response. Right now I am interested only in the doGet method, so we will use the doGet method only. Okay, so what you have to do now, whatever you have, you know, whatever numbers you have taken over here in your HTML file, that value we need to fetch into the servlet. So this first text box is num1 and second text box is num2. I want whatever value I enter over here into the servlet. Okay, so over here, so just check it out. Define two variables, say integer I, okay, and I have one more variable, integer j. Now in I want the text which I am going to write down in the num1. Okay, what is the variable name? Num1 for the text box. Okay, so you have to do like this. Integer I is equal to this num1 will come from where? From the request. Okay, so you have to say request. See, whenever you write down the numbers here, okay, I'm sorry, whenever you write down the numbers in the text boxes, they will be sent as a request to the server. Okay, so we have to fetch the contents from the request object. So you have to say request dot, okay, and there is a method called as get parameter. Okay, there is a method called as get parameter. Okay, so get that method, get parameter. What is the variable for your text box one? It was num1. Okay, so go for num1 and say so check it out, request dot get parameter num1. So what will happen? Whatever you have entered in the num1 text box, that will be fetched and that will be stored in I. But check it out, get parameters returns string. Okay, get parameter returns string, and we are accepting any integer. So this typecasting we have to do. So we want the integer, so just call integer dot parseInt. Okay, and now our parameter is nothing but the whatever we have fetched from the. Okay, so check it out, integer I is equal to integer dot parseInt request dot get parameter num1. I repeat this. Okay, what we want whenever we are entering this number 1 and number 2, number 1 text box is num1, number 2 text box is num2. I want to extract these contents 23 and 34. 23 I have entered in num1, 34 I have entered in num2. Okay, so how to extract these contents in the servlet? So the whenever you are you are entering these numbers and we are submitting the query, what happened? It will create a request object. Okay, that request object will hold this 23 and 34. So in our servlet, we have to get these parameters from the request object. So call the method get parameter, request dot get parameter. So when I say request dot get parameter num1, it will return me whatever I have entered in number 1 text box. But get parameter returns the content in the string format. We need to typecast it to the integer format. So we have called integer dot parseInt. Okay, so it will convert the string into integer, and now whatever we have entered in num1, it will be stored in I. It will be stored in a I variable of my servlet. Okay, similarly you have to fetch the contents of another text box. So we will call it again in the same manner, integer dot parseInt. And what we want? We want again request dot get parameter. Okay, and this time second text box num2. Okay, and then the semicolon. So check it out. Now my I variable will contain 23 and J variable will contain 34. Whatever I have entered in the num1 and num2 text box. What I need to do now? This is the server. Check it out. The servlet is in the server. Servlet is a server component. So now addition will take place in the server. Okay, so I will simply say integer k is equal to I plus j. So k will now contain the addition. Okay, it will contain the result of I plus j. And now I need to print this result. I need to send back this result to the client. Client was my HTML file. Okay, so I need to send back this result to the client. So how to send back this result? You have created your result, and now your result will be in the response object. Okay, your result will be in the response object. So say my response object is over here, HTTP servlet response. Check it out. Request object was here. We have used it. Response object is also here in the parameter. We are going to use it. Say response dot. Okay. Now in the response object, I have my output. So I have to call the get writer method. So get writer. Okay. So this get writer method. Okay, this get writer method is available in the response class. What this get writer method does? Okay, it will send you. Okay, the get writer method will send you the contents of response in the print writer object. Okay, it will send you the object of print writer type. So we have to first create it. Print writer out is equal to response dot get writer. Check it out. This get writer method is present in the response class. So we need to call response dot get writer. What the get writer does? Get writer method will send you the object of type print writer. Okay, it will send you the object of type print writer. Now what this print writer does? This print writer object will send the data to the client in the character format. Okay, this print writer method object will send the data to the client. What is our client? HTML file. Okay, so it is going to send the data to the client. Now just check it out. What is the error over here? Print writer cannot be resolved to a type. Okay, so we need to change to print writer. Okay, so it will imported automatically over here. Okay, and check it out, java.io.printlwriter, and we have got resolved it. Now this, with the help of this out, we can write the output. So check out out dot, you can have the print methods, various print methods. So out dot system dot out dot println, same way out dot println we can have. Okay, so what I want to write down, I want to write down result of addition is, okay, and I'll say plus k. Okay, so it will say this result of addition is plus k. Okay, so this is how we have written a servlet. Let me repeat the things what I have done till now. Okay, because a very important step we have to perform after this. What we have done, we have created a dynamic web project test servlet. We have added a HTML file into that. In the HTML file, we have simply added the form with the action add. Okay, add is the action what I have mentioned. Okay, and then I have added number one, number two. I have added a submit button. Okay, the value of the submit button, say I will say here value is equal to add. Okay, like this. And just let me add again the br tags for the new line. Yeah, so this is what we have created, a simple HTML file for addition of two numbers. And what I want now, whenever I click this submit button, it should go to the add. Okay, now what I want now, I repeat, when I click the submit button, it should go to the add. This is the, check it out, what we are getting over here, action mein, it is a URI, uniform resource identifier. So it should go to the add. Okay, this is, here we have to, when I click the submit, it should go to the add. But right now I have created addition servlet. Okay, this servlet is created by extending the HTTP servlet. Okay, so addition servlet extends HTTP servlet. In the HTTP servlet, I have overridden the doGet method. Okay, this, the first line is the ready-made code which is available in the doGet. Okay, it just creates one servlet name over there. But after that, I have taken the get parameter methods, I have used the get writer methods, and I have created the code for addition of two numbers. I have extracted number one into I have extracted number two into j, I have performed the addition, and I have sent the results to the uh, with the help of out to the client. But now what will happen, check it out. We have written our code into the addition servlet class. Okay, and what we have said over here in the index, we have said that it should call the add. So this is where we need the deployment descriptor. This is where we need the web.xml file. Okay, so check it out, this web.xml file. Right, double click it. Okay, it will open the web.xml file. See, in this web.xml, you have to configure this web.xml file. Okay, you have to configure this web.xml file. There are two important tags that we will be requiring over here. So first is the servlet tag. So add the servlet tag. Okay, automatically it will add the end tag as well. Okay, go inside the servlet tag. Okay, and now check it out. Inside the servlet tag, I need two subtags. Okay, the first is servlet name. Okay, and the second one is servlet class. The first is servlet name and second is servlet class. Now these are the two important tags I am going to write down inside the servlet. Okay, this is the first tag. Now check it out. This is the sub tag. The important tag was servlet slash servlet. Okay, which I have written below the web app. Okay, and what is the name of the servlet? You can give any name, whatever name you want, that name you can give, say addition. And now what is a class? This class name should be the class name of your servlet. So addition servlet, this was my name. So just write down the same class name over here, addition servlet. Okay, now after this, let me check what is showing. Okay, After this servlet/servlet tag, there is one more very important tag of mapping you have to add in the web.xml, and that is servlet mapping. Let me check it. The tag name. Yeah, servlet and servlet mapping. Yes. Okay, I'll just copy paste this code. Yeah. So we have already the servlet tag, servlet/servlet, and we have the servlet mapping. In the servlet mapping, again, I have to write down the servlet name. Okay, the servlet name is this one. Okay, whatever we have given over here, the same name you have to keep in the mapping as well. So say addition. Oh, I'm sorry. Say addition. And one more very important tag you have to write down, that is the URL pattern. Okay. Now this URL pattern is nothing but what you have mentioned in your HTML file. So what we have mentioned in our HTML file, add. Okay, simply add, and that name should come over here. Okay, that name should come over here. Add. Why I'm getting this error here? Servlet class. Check. The same thing. Servlet class. Spelling is wrong. Yeah. Yes, servlet. Yeah. Yeah. So check it out. I'll repeat this. Go to the web XML file. Once you have done with HTML file, once you have done with your servlet, now you have to configure your web.xml file. Now this web.xml file will contain the mappings. Okay. When you click submit button, you want to go to add, but we have not written that add. So how to map it? Okay. How your addition servlet will be mapped to your add URL pattern. So for that purpose, in the web.xml file, we have to write down two important tag. The first is servlet/servlet tag, and second is servlet mapping/servlet mapping tag. Okay, these two important tag we need to add. In the servlet tag, there are two subtags: servlet name and servlet class. Servlet name give anything you want. Okay, and servlet class name, servlet class. Inside the servlet class tag, you have to write down the class name of a servlet what we have created. Our class name was addition servlet, so I have put it over here. Now the next important tag is servlet mapping. So servlet mapping/servlet mapping. Inside that there are again two tags: servlet name and URL pattern. So servlet name, just copy paste from your servlet tag as it is. It should be same. It must be same. The servlet name should be same in the servlet as well as servlet mapping. And URL pattern is another tag. In the URL pattern, you have to write down the add. Whatever we have mentioned in the checkout, whatever we have mentioned in our in the HTML file. Okay, our HTML file was index.html. Yeah. So whatever we have mentioned in the form action, okay, the same thing you have to write down in the URL pattern, that is add. Okay. So in this way, now you have configured your deployment descriptor, and it is a mandatory. In this way, you have to configure your deployment descriptor web.xml file. Okay, now we have done with everything. We will check whether our program works or not. Okay, so go to our web index.html and right click and say run on server. It will ask you to which Tomcat version you want. Okay, Just say okay and say restart. It was showing some problem. Let me go to the another file. Yeah. Okay, let me run this, which was working initially. So it is giving me some problem for starting the Tomcat. There is no need actually to let me see the error. It is correct. I got the problem. So similar kind of program. So I have number 1, number 2, and add it. Say 346 and 567. Now this is another program which I have developed. So in this program, I have actually used the JDBC, but let it be. So check it out now. We have to call add. Okay, once we have clicked on the add button, submit button, number 1 was 346, number 2 was 567, and I have clicked that add. Okay, submit button, and I am getting the result 913. Okay, so similar type of program is there. So in this way, you should get your simple server client communication done with the help of servlet. Check it out. Our HTML file is nothing but our client. We are sending the two numbers to the server and we request the server to add them. So our server, that is our servlet, it has added the two numbers and send us the result. Okay. So this result we have printed on the client side again with the help of out. Out is a print writer object. Okay, it sends the contents to the client. Okay, so out has given us the content which we have printed on the over here. Now check it out. When I have executed it as run on server, the output, the HTML also opened in the Eclipse itself. So in the browser. So check it out. The output of index.html, I am getting it in the uh, Eclipse itself. So Eclipse has its internal browser. Okay, Eclipse has its internal browser, and that is why you will get over here itself in the internal browser of the Eclipse. If you want to shift to the another browser, okay, so you can go to the Windows and you can say web browser. See, right now we are using Eclipse internal web browser. You can go to the Internet Explorer, you can go to the Chrome, or you can go to the system's default web browser, whatever you have set. That will be the external browser. So if I say to Chrome over here, and whenever I execute this program, I will get to the Chrome browser and I will get my file over there, executed over there. Okay, so that was about the simple addition of two numbers. Now what I want next is we need to create the table in MySQL, and whatever, now whenever I say add, the content should be added, that is fine, but all these content should be directed to the database. Okay, so in tomorrow's session we will see how to uh, connect your servlet with your MySQL database. So JDBC application we will focus tomorrow. So I think that's all from my side.